There exist two distinct hierarchies of authority aboard the Mourningstar in Darktide, that of the Inquisition and that of the rogue trader and their entourage. While the Inquisition holds the ultimate authority in the situation on Atoma Prime, and arguably within the greater Imperium, the inquisitorial warband in Darktide is still technically just a guest on the Mourningstar, and an unwelcome one at that. Contrary to common player assumptions, the floating home for our rejects in Darktide is not owned by Inquisitor Grendyl, and the colourful characters on board are not solely part of his inquisitorial retinue either. Instead, Shipmistress Brahms, her crew, and the entire vessel have been requisitioned under inquisitorial authority to serve in Grendyl's operations on Atoma Prime. Although the Rogue Trader crew has proven to be effective allies to Grendyl and his warband, they do in fact struggle with the inquisitorial restrictions imposed upon them, a sentiment evident in the occasional expressions of dissent heard in-game through idle Mourningstar dialogue and in-mission Vox chatter. So, clearly there is a bit of awkwardness and conflict at play aboard the Mourningstar, and with this video I intend to look a bit closer into the characters involved and try to point out some interesting interactions I noted along the way. So, we will start at what I consider to be the top and work our way down the chain. The head of the operation on Atoma Prime is Inquisitor Grendyl, an Inquisitor of the Order Hereticus tasked with protecting mankind from itself by fighting internal threats to the Imperium such as treason, mutation, heresy, and apostasy. While our band of rejects represent just a fraction of the countless underlings thrown into the meat grinder of war on Atoma Prime, Grendyl is quite possibly the single most important, influential character in the game. And yet, they are also the character we know the least about. Grendyl never shows their face. Communication flows exclusively through trusted agents and a servitor that flickers between various faces and voices while providing an inspiring WHS induction for those new to the warband. Among these faces, voices, and fragments could lie Grendyl's true identity, but until we meet or see them in person, we simply won't know. Personality, history, favoured methods, true goals, and even gender, these aspects of Grendyl remain unknown. So, let's try to explore what we do know. We know that Grendyl is indirect. Where other Inquisitors might charge into battle at the head of a great war host armed with the finest weapons of mankind, Grendyl currently seems to prefer fighting by proxy and leading from the shadows. Grendyl too appears to be a rather competent commander, successfully requisitioning the Mourningstar and its crew, infiltrating Tertium through the strategic deployment of Wormwood agents, and orchestrating countless lightning assaults across the Hive world to harry, mislead, and whittle down the forces of chaos while simultaneously working to restore Atoma Prime's industries. We know that Grendyl's authority should be absolute. As an Imperial Inquisitor, Grendyl bears one of mankind's greatest honours, but also one of its heaviest burdens. Having complete control and authority over every asset involved in this conflict, Grendyl is someone that we, as rejects, are not even deemed worthy to approach. We know that Grendyl's tactics and methods as an Inquisitor make him appear to be what is known as an Inquisitorial Machinator, which is essentially one of the 6 common classifications of Inquisitors within the Imperium. You tell me if this sounds familiar. The Machinator is an Inquisitor who maintains the most convoluted and intricate web of contacts and agents imaginable, each of whom he controls with masterly skill as a puppeteer, controlling 1,000 marionettes with but a single hand. The identity of the Machinator is often withheld from those he controls, his missives and instructions passed to them by encrypted, untraceable transmission conduits or delivered by way of a dead letter drop. Indeed, the Machinator's agents may have well met their master face to face without even having known of it. The Machinator is a political animal of the highest caliber. That is why he gathers about him a cadre of the most trusted of his agents, those he trusts above all others not to betray him. We know Grendyl's identity is a closely guarded secret, and the reasons behind these guarded methods suggest a strategic or simply paranoid outlook. Grendyl's specific goals and motivations, aside from the obvious objectives regarding the Mobian sector, Atoma Prime, and Tertium, remain unclear. The basics, however, are clear. Restore Tertium's manufactorums and other industries, purge the corruption from Tertium's lower hive, and expose the traitors within the Atoman noble houses. Beyond this, Grendyl remains an enigma, commanding all Imperial forces in this operation and shouldering the responsibility for the outcome of events on Atoma Prime. Shipmistress Brahms, while not on par with Grendyl, still bears a significant and weighty mantle of responsibility. As a rogue trader, she holds a warrant of trade which provides almost limitless authority, except in dealings with the Inquisition and a handful of other Imperial agencies. This warrant empowers her to act on behalf of the Imperium when engaging with foreign powers and exploring newly discovered worlds, essentially making her a cross between a diplomat, treasure hunter, and glorified pirate. The Mourningstar, a Firestorm-class frigate home to over 20,000 crew, as well as the new and varied rejects and inquisitorial forces, is also her ship. As such, she is in charge of the Mourningstar and all those within it not directly subject to the Inquisitor's authority. A clear divide exists between the Inquisitorial warband and Brahms' rogue trader entourage. Shipmistress Brahms and Commodore Hallowett constantly express that Grendyl's retinue is not welcome aboard the Mourningstar, but rather they are merely tolerated. Brahms especially harbours animosity toward Interrogator Rannick and us, his group of rejects, stating that she would not be helping if Grendyl had offered her any choice in the matter. This is supported by some of her audio files like,
"Grendyl isn't paying enough for this. Don't let Rannick intimidate you, nor Grendyl. The Mourningstar's mine. Don't go wandering out of bounds. My armsmen will shoot on sight."
While Brahms wields considerable power over many lives and incredible resources, she still, for now, remains subject to Grendyl's authority and the Inquisition during the ongoing conflict on Atoma Prime. It seems likely that Brahms will seize the earliest opportunity to part ways with the Inquisition, pursuing her more exciting work elsewhere in the galaxy, far away from the watchful and judgmental eyes of the Inquisition. Next, Interrogator Rannick, basically Grendyl's right-hand man. Inquisitorial interrogators are basically inquisitors in training and are considered the second in command of any given warband of the Inquisition. Interrogators represent the stepping stone to fully fledged inquisitors, and in the hierarchy of Darktide, Rannick operates solely under Grendyl's command. As the highest ranking member of Grendyl's warband, Rannick shoulders a range of significant responsibilities, primarily involving the investigation into and execution of traitors or sympathizers within Grendyl's warband. Also operating with Auric-class strike teams and their assignments, Rannick's tasks mirror those of other mission handlers, but on a far grander scale and with far greater consequences for failure. Interrogators understand that they are under constant scrutiny, with their every action meticulously observed and evaluated by their patron Inquisitor. Success will bring Rannick closer to his dream of securing an inquisitorial seal, but as is the fate for many interrogators, failure in will or duty will ensure his downfall. Characters seem to harbour a strong sense of contempt or irritation toward Rannick, often evident in the tone used when referring to him. This sentiment is understandable given Rannick's position, where trust holds little value and where he must constantly anticipate the possibility of betrayal or opposition within the warband or the crew of the Mourningstar. Morrow, in particular, largely uninvolved in Rannick's intricate political maneuvers, finds him to be an overbearing irritant who is extremely detached in his elevated station.
Ah, the bold heroes of Entoma about their business, I see.
It's the best life in the Imperium. Did you want something, sir?
Consider it a spot check. Nothing to worry about.
Is that right? I'm sure that won't be a distraction in any way.
Always with the most used.
Among the loyal forces on the Mourningstar, there is a keen awareness that Rannick's primary focus lies in serving Grendyl and ensuring that Grendyl is well aware of his loyalty. As an explicator, Zola already holds the third highest official rank in Inquisition's warband. Similar to Rannick's role to Grendyl, Zola more or less serves as an interrogator in training under Rannick. But, interestingly, her role is also influenced through direct mentorship from Grendyl. Zola directly oversees the activities of the Rejects and works with the rest of Grendyl's retinue to coordinate and execute strike missions across Tertium. She works to meet the objectives and high standards set from above, and, much like Rannick, it is in Zola's interest to fulfill all expectations to avoid invoking the full wrath of the Inquisition. Her extensive knowledge of the Hive City, developed from a wild upbringing in its more impoverished sectors, stands as a crucial factor that led to her selection as the leader of operations within this region. Another interesting layer to Zola's character is revealed throughout the course of the new Orthus offensive assassination mission. The dialogue between Zola and Rannick on this mission hints at a shared history with Wulfa, the mysterious and withdrawn leader of the traitorous Mobian 6th Regiment. This connection, coupled with Zola's relentless pursuit of the Karnak twins, clearly causes great concern to Rannick, who indicates that he has previously reprimanded Zola for her unprofessional fixation with Wulfa, adding yet another nuanced dynamic into the warband's internal politics. Yet, despite such intricacies and internal conflicts, Zola appears not as a divisive figure, but rather as a widely tolerated authority aboard the Mourningstar. Idle Vox dialogue and in-mission chatter paint a picture of her skill in navigating internal disputes and addressing the myriad complaints and accusations hurled by fellow agents. Beneath Zola in the hierarchy of the Mourningstar, a greater roster of key figures hold distinct roles that further contribute to the ongoing war on Entoma Prime. This includes Sergeant Major Morrow, the overseer of the warband's ground units, Hadron Omega 77, the lead tech priest responsible for the meticulous upkeep of equipment for the warband, Hallowett and Melk, who officially act as Brahm's second-in-command and Grendyl's spymaster respectively, and Masozi, Quartermaster Brunt, Oscar Karl, and Sephany, each with their own unique areas of specialization that are similarly crucial to the war effort. Yet despite the diverse skill sets of these characters, their involvement in the subtle political intrigues aboard the Mourningstar remains somewhat limited compared to the politicking taking place by Zola, Rannick, and Brahms. And then, at the bottom of the Mourningstar hierarchy, we, the press-ganged and disposable convicts, find our place. Most of the crew outwardly loathe us, viewing our presence as a grim consequence of the war's unsuccessful progression. But with each successful mission, we inch toward tolerance and perhaps even respect from a few on board. The only thing we can do is continue to do as ordered, continue to kill as we must, burn and steal what we must in order to prove our worth to the Inquisition, and live a few more glorious days in service to the Emperor of mankind, beloved by all. And so the atmosphere aboard the Mourningstar is thick with tension, reminiscent of a high-stakes political drama. At the heart of this turmoil is Grendyl, who, in theory, should command unwavering authority over the assert station on Entoma Prime. However, the game paints a far more complex picture. Brahms is in a unique position. Despite wielding considerable influence and resources, she seems intent on maintaining a safe distance from the brewing conflict. Her primary allegiance is quite clearly towards her crew and the Mourningstar itself, which creates a potential rift in the chain of command. Rannick has a lot at stake. As someone expected to be unwaveringly loyal to Grendyl, his responsibilities and challenges are manifold. Firstly, there's Zola, a rising star within the organization. Her potential, while promising, has become a double-edged sword for Rannick. While she garners attention and favour from Grendyl, her independent streak and resistance to Rannick's directives create friction and challenges for him to manage. Complicating matters further, Rannick grapples with the presence of traitors infiltrating the warband, a threat that he must personally eradicate. These traitors not only undermine the warband's cohesion and effectiveness, but also place the burden and responsibility to identify and neutralize them squarely on Rannick's shoulders. Also, coordinating a shady crew of self-serving characters and teams of stim-addicted criminals to fight against a formidable chaos uprising really paints a bleak picture of the challenges that Rannick faces daily. The odds seem stacked against him, and this only adds to his urgency to secure Grendyl's favour and advance his own aspirations to ascend to a fully fledged Inquisitor. It seems to me that for Rannick, any dissenting voices, be they rejects, agents, or other operatives, are merely hindrances to be navigated or eliminated to achieve his ultimate goal. For Rannick, the stakes are high, and the margin for error is slim. Lastly, there is Zola, consumed by her fixation of Wolfa and the Karnak twins. Such an intense focus hints at either a profound personal bond or a lingering vendetta that drives her actions. It could be that her fixations stem from past traumas or a relentless pursuit of justice, or maybe her defiance against authority is just a demonstration of her independent spirit. Regardless, her defiance against superiors disrupts the chain of command and introduces a volatile element to the Mourningstar's operations. This may well breed dissent among the warband and lead to the formation of factions within the ship, each aligned with different leaders or ideologies. Her willingness to ignore the chain of command and pursue her own objectives not only underscores the intricate complexity of her character, but also raises pressing questions about her true intentions and the extremes that she is prepared to explore in pursuit of her goals. Also, with Zola, we must not forget how quickly she recovered following her stabbing with a rusty poop knife from the Mobian 6th. While I know that many dismiss this event as inconsequential, it remains a detail that has always unsettled me. In the Siege of Terra, the Primarch of the White Scars Legion, Jagatai Khan, is stabbed with a similar blade, albeit of Astartesian proportions, in the back of his knee, and it very well near killed him, a son of the Emperor. Zola, on the other hand, some bum from Tertium's underhive, can just have it pulled out by a criminal and is able to go about her day with very little trouble. To me, this resilience hints at a deeper, perhaps otherworldly aspect of Zola's existence and really makes me believe that she just might be the traitor that Rannick has been hunting for all along. The complex web of dynamics within the Mourningstar's hierarchy exposes a troubling narrative. The visible signs of instability and the pockets of insubordination are not mere isolated incidents, but are instead indicators of more profound, systemic issues at play. The underlying problems, be they heresy, carelessness, personal ambition, or jealousy, if unaddressed, have the potential to escalate, creating a volatile environment that poses significant risk to the ship's operation, and, by extension, the overarching Imperial objectives on Atoma Prime. The fractures in this hierarchy, characterized by power struggles and conflicting interests, threaten the cohesion needed to effectively face and conquer the forces of chaos. The situation highlights that the warband is not only contending with external threats from chaos, but is also grappling with deep internal fractures that could undermine its ability to act effectively. As the drama slowly unfolds over future updates, I think I'll remain on edge, thinking about the potential consequences of these brewing tensions and wondering whether Grendyl can navigate through these challenges before they reach a critical tipping point. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more similar content coming from me, please consider liking, commenting what you think about my takes, or just sharing with your friends. Or don't, that's very much alright too. Thanks for watching. Dystopian Chimp out.